everybody! Oh, Easter is my favorite holiday of all. I grew up in a Catholic home with 2 brothers and 3 sisters, and the Easter Bunny came every year and he hid our Easter baskets. And we used to make, we used to color our eggs, and we always had to put our name on one of the eggs. And somehow the Easter Bunny knew to grab our Easter egg and put it in our basket. So if, when we woke up in the morning and we had to search for our Easter baskets, if we happened to find one of my brothers or sisters, I would know, because I would find the egg with the name on it, and if it wasn't mine, shh, keep it quiet, don't tell. And when I would find my Easter basket, oh my God, it was like the best thing. And I would carry it around all day long, and I would savor those jelly beans and those marshmallow yummy bunnies. Oh my gosh, they were so good. We rarely ate the actual eggs, but I loved them. And also, I remember as I got older, one time when I was 12 years old, I had to go to confession before Easter. And I remember going to the confessional and telling the priest my sins, and then coming out afterwards and doing my penance in the church. And something changed inside of me when I walked out the doors of the church. And it was an overwhelming sense of peace and joy and bliss. And I remember running home. We lived right across the street from the church. And I remember running home and putting on my favorite top and jumping out, calling my girlfriend and saying, "Are you home? I want to come see you." She lived about a mile away. And I jumped on my orange and black bicycle with a banana seat. And I remember riding, standing up with the wind blowing in my hair and looking up at the trees blowing. And I felt total at-one-ment. I mean, one with the leaves, with the trees, with the wind, with the river, which was right down below. And it was one of those moments where the veil had been lifted, and I knew that I was loved. Loved by God, loved by my family. I knew myself as being loved, and it was the most incredible feeling ever. So that's partly why Easter is such a wonderful time for me. So let's begin our Easter celebration with a traditional song. And I'll be right back because my dog is barking. Ooh, let's say hi. Say hi, everybody. This is my doggie, Kayla. Ooh, this is Kayla. She's a sweet doggie. All right, Mama's gonna do church now, honey. All right, let's begin with a very high song. So please sing along with me, because yeah, the track is very high. Ready? Christ in me is risen today, alleluia. Sons of men and angels say, alleluia. Raise your joys and triumphs high, alleluia. Sing ye heavens and earth reply, no more thought of dark and gloom, hallelujah. No more thought of death and tomb, hallelujah. To the heavens and the lights, hallelujah. Let our souls ascend the heights, hallelujah. By thy dazzling radiant rays, hallelujah. Shine, illuminate our days, hallelujah. destiny is risen today. Alleluia. Sons of men and angels say, Alleluia. Raise your joys and triumphs high. Alleluia. Sing ye heavens and earth reply. Alleluia. Ooh. Love that tradition. So today, our talk is called Becoming the Living Miracle. A man went on vacation in the Middle East with his family, and he took his mother-in-law. And while they were visiting Jerusalem, his mother-in-law died. With the death certificate in his hand, he went to the American consulate to make arrangements to send her body back to the States for proper burial. The agent told him to send the body back to the States for burial is very expensive. In fact, it could cost as much as $5,000. And the agent also said that if he wanted to have the body buried in Jerusalem, it would only cost $150. So the man thought about it for a time. And then he said, I don't care how much it costs. I want to send the body back to the States so that she would have a proper burial. After hearing this, the agent said, oh, that's very touching. You must have loved your mother-in-law very much, considering the difference in price and all. And the man said, no, that's not it at all. You see, I know of a case many years ago of a person that was buried here in Jerusalem, and on the third day, he arose from the dead. And frankly, I can't take that chance. Sorry. It's one of my favorite Easter jokes. But despite the silliness of that joke, it lays the groundwork for our work today. This day, when we look at the miracles that occur when we make a sacred connection, or said in another way, the miracles that occur when we connect with the sacred. Jesus was a living miracle. He transcended the limits of the physical realm all the time. And Easter simply represents the grand finale. But this Easter message lays pretty flat unless we realize that it is a message for us. Do not think that it was just about Jesus. He demonstrated what was possible for you and me. If you live in close connection with the sacred, as he did, you will transform the tomb of limitation into the stepping stone to miracles. Unity minister and author Eric Butterworth once said, "The open tomb of Easter morning says to you, you can become what you innately are. And this innateness of you far transcends anything you have ever conceived of in your wildest flights of fancy. There is within you a person of stature, a genius, of mastery, struggling to be released. And if you get into the spirit of Easter and let it happen to you, you can believe that every stone of limitation will be rolled away from your tomb. We can become a living miracle if we get into the spirit of Easter. But often we don't. Instead, we entomb ourselves. Listen to these deeply moving words by John Post, a man in a court-appointed recovery program who some years ago discovered a New Thought church. It's entitled Rocks in the Road. Here I am, stumbling when I should be standing, crawling when I should be running, crying when I should be laughing. The road ahead, wide, open, and smooth. The goals so clear and tempting. The journey so easy if I just allow it to be. Except the rocks I throw in my own road, holding me back, slowing me down, making difficult the things that should be so easy. The mural that is the rest of my life, still just a blank white wall with ghostly outlines traced in places. A hint of what lies ahead, waiting for the color and the texture that comes with the living of it. A blank slate, a white wall, except for the rocks thrown there by myself. Hanta yo, clear the way. Quit creating my own hurdles. Quit holding myself back. See the picture. Live the colors. Feel the texture. Be alive. Be alive again. The man inside wants out. Kindness and warmth live here. Music and laughter live in here. The mural, hidden but still real, waiting to be revealed. Hiding behind the rocks I place in my road. This morning, I ask each one of you, what would it take to remove these rocks? To roll away the tombstone? Make the true, lasting, sacred connection and be the living miracle. Take a deep breath. You are God. Get it and go out and live it. Over 2,000 years ago, the master teacher, Jesus, told us that we were sons and daughters of the Most High. Over 2,000 years ago, his resurrection symbolized the power of spiritual understanding over human limitations. Over 2,000 years ago, he said these things and more you can do as well. In modern times, there was a mystic in India named Sai Baba. It seems he possessed the ability to manifest things of solid form out of the formless. And in his presence, people were healed. Sounds like the work of Jesus, doesn't it? A Western reporter once interviewed him and asked if he were God. Do you know what his answer was? It was, "Yes, I am." Everyone in attendance was stunned. And then he continued, "And so are you. The only difference between me and you is that I know it, and you doubt it. And that's the difference between Jesus and us. He knew it, and we doubt it. He had an ongoing, unending, continual, sacred connection. And so can you. You are a piece of God, a divine creation, a being of light that showed up here at exactly the time you were supposed to. Why do you doubt it? You are the beloved, the miracle, a part of the eternal perfection. Why do you doubt it? We often say that we are a drop of water in the mighty ocean. But I much prefer Rumi's version, which is, you are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. Why do you doubt it? You are the creator of your own universe, because the creative power of the universe is as close as your breath. It's as close as your hands and your feet. Why do you doubt it? Jesus knew these things. Sai Baba knew these things. Why? Why do we doubt them so? By understanding what Easter symbolizes, each one of us can release our own doubts, our own sense of personal inadequacy, and move joyously into a new dimension of miracles. Being, not just becoming, but being the living miracle is today's message. Today, I ask each and every one of you to identify more with yourself as a spiritual being, a divine offspring, claiming your birthright more than you ever have before. What if we focused our awareness on this more often than we focus our awareness on our limited personal sense of self? What if we embodied these ideas? Take a deep breath. I am an infinite being. I am a spiritual being having a body experience. Even as my body ages, my spirit is eternal. I am whole spiritually. I am one with all of life, connected to the universal intelligence and all of life. I am never alone. I am a co-creator. My thoughts and my beliefs create my reality. I take responsibility for my life, and I learn how to live more consciously. I live in abundance. As a part of infinite life, I am abundant. I know how to demonstrate abundance, living by the principles of abundance. I am love. And I know I am loved. I have a job for you. And it's an important one if you want to embrace these ideas this morning. My guess is that each and every one of us have something in our past, either distant or more recent, that we are letting hold us back from being the miracle that we are, allowing to entomb us. A childhood wound, a relationship wound, a wound in the name of God. So could you today roll that stone of limitation away? Get that rock out of your path. That by from this moment forward, refusing to ever speak of it again, to never again use it as an excuse for not fully expressing life. Oh no, you might proclaim. If I can't share how wounded I am and all of those horrible things that other people have done to me, what would I talk about? If I can't blame and use this as an excuse for not being who I am, what will I do? If I'm not my past, who am I? You are God. Get it and go out and live it. It is your sacred connection that defines who you are, not your past. Jesus had an awakened belief system that was established in oneness, unity, and love. Jesus demonstrated the ultimate miracle. He overcame death. He could do this because he didn't believe in death as an ultimate reality. And whether or not the resurrection story is a literal fact or not, is not what matters. What matters is the idea that Jesus overcame death. By believing more in life, by believing himself to be as one with God. It's time to awaken our belief system. A young nun who worked for a local home healthcare agency was out making her rounds when she ran out of gas. As luck would have it, there was a gas station just 1 block away. she walked to the station to borrow a can with enough gas to start the car and drive it to the station for a fill-up. The attendant regretfully told her that the only gas can he owned had just been loaned out, but if she would care to wait, he was sure it would be back shortly. Since the nun was on the way to see a patient, she decided not to wait and walked back to her car. After looking through her car for something to carry to the station to fill with gas, she spotted a bedpan she was taking to the patient. Always resourceful, she carried it to the station, filled it with gasoline, and carried it back to her car. As she was pouring the gas into the tank of her car, two men watched her from across the street. One of them turned to the other and said, "I know that it is said that Jesus turned water into wine. But if that car starts, I'll become a believer for the rest of my life." Will you become a believer for the rest of your life? Will you believe in the power that occurs when you live from your sacred connection, as Jesus did? Jesus prayed all the time. He was always talking to God. Prayer is the most powerful thing you can do. Let God know what's on your heart. Talk to Him all the time. Powerful things happen through prayer. Now more than ever, talk to God all the time. A miracle is in the changing of consciousness from the thought of impossibility to the attitude of faith that all things are possible in God. Do you need to see a miracle before you will believe that you are a living miracle? Let's not. Let's do what Wayne Dyer suggested. He said, "When you believe it, you will see it." Well, believe this. Take a deep breath. You are God. Get it. And go out and live it. And may God bless you and have a beautiful, happy Easter. You are not alone, my friends. Go shine that light. Be in touch with your family members. And take good care of yourselves and talk to God. I miss you all so much. I miss your faces. I was talking with Gwen Grace yesterday, and we were so excited talking about the possibility of the day that we all come back together. The hugging, the time where we hug and say hello in the morning, it's going to be extended for a long time, I can tell. I cannot wait to see all of you. But until then, my friends, we have plenty of talking to do with God and with each other, reaching out to each other, breathing, taking in those long breaths so that we keep our lungs healthy, and sipping hot water 6 times a day so that you have to sip it because it's so hot. It'll keep your body hydrated. It'll keep your organs and your liver clear. Take good care of yourselves. And reach out. So I want to close with this little light of mine so that we can all end on a joyful note. So sing it with me. Ready? This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. God bless you. I love you. I love you all.